Service. What do it mean?
What do it be doing?
4 weeks ago, I was tasked with finding a meaning behind service and legacy. But how would I achieve this? What?
Better. What tactics would I use to actually activate my monkey brain and come to some sort of conclusion? The answer? Interviews. Why answer a question when I can have somebody else answer it for me? It's genius! So, off I went. Writing questions, scheduling appointments, getting foremen to schedule appointments because I have the connections of a broken router. And in the span of a week, I had 6 interviews scheduled. This should be easy. It was not easy. They defeated me. I am low to the ground for I do not have feet. Day 1, dawn of the first whoopsie daisy. I woke up, I got ready, I ate the finest of Oreos, and I was ready for my interview at 8. It was 8:09. Thanks to my remarkable talent in this cool trick that I like to call speeding, I was able to only be 15 minutes late to my interview. My journey to my next interview led me to the park. I was 15 minutes late, it was cold, and I was sad. This was a real shiver me timbers moment. I was quivering in my pantaloons. But thankfully for me, they answered the questions perfectly, except for the fact that I made a slight technical error and can't use the footage because I'm dumb. It's all thanks to this masterful ability I have called not turning the camera on. Now thankfully for me, the people were actually extremely nice, so it didn't matter that much, and the interview went really well. Am I gonna showcase it? Probably not. So instead, we will be pretending like they don't exist, because I don't make errors, I make jokes. After all, I really do take after my parents. So with that, it was on to the next, late again. And with that, all the others' interviews went about the same, where I made some stupid technical error, probably couldn't use the footage, but did anyways. So what happens next? The answer is simple, actual interviews.
The audience, could you guys just describe your organization?
Pure Cedar Creek Institute was established in 2001, and so we are an environmental education center, we're a nature center, and we're also a biological field station. Hub of environmental community programs.
I work for DNR, Department of Natural Resources, Parks and Recreation Division, and I'm actually in Stewardship Unit. My role is trying to manage invasive species and forest health issues in our Michigan State parks.
Okay.
And a big part of my job is leading volunteer activities within parks too.
Well, we are TK's Transportation, meaning we are the only source other than parents that bring students to and from school, sporting events, field trips, whatever's asked for.
We also provide a lot of recreational opportunities.
Okay.
So we have about 10 miles of trails and a total of 850 acres.
Young 5 through first grade building. We have approximately 500 kids, ages 5 to 8. Lots of busy activity in the building. It's a great place to be because the kids all want to be here. You walk down the hallways, you get high fives and hugs, and they love being at school and they love learning. So it's a neat place to be.
We currently have 35 buses and we transport about 3,000 students every day.
How has it impacted its community?
And so one of our staff members will actually go into schools and do a lot of environmental education and supplement the science curriculum.
People find different ways to feel the impact. You said you use this trail for mountain biking. A lot of people might come here for bird watching. We often have people who are fishing or camping. So it provides kind of like an area for people to escape from their normal life and engage with nature.
But we also offer a lot of volunteer opportunities for people in the community.
We have stewardship experiences weekly throughout the summer where students can come join us on the land, get their hands dirty, and see what land stewardship looks like.
We'll have high school students that will come down and volunteer in classrooms, and one of the things that I really enjoy is the high school cadet program, where we'll have high school students that are thinking about going into education will come down and pair up in some of our classrooms and individually work with kids, mentor them. The older kids that come down, our littles down here will really look up to them as a hero type of thing.
TK is about 125 square miles. It can be a challenge for parents to transport their students to and from school, provide that service for them by going to get them, in some cases, as far as Freeport, Gun Lake, down south to Hastings, or even up to Caledonia is kind of our grid.
So how can students use your organizations to make an impact on themselves, make that impact and give back to the community?
But going to school is actually a student's job. It's like your parents go off to work to earn money. You go to school to be able to learn more information that can help prepare you for your future. Exactly. So what students can do best for themselves is really become fully invested in their education.
Pretty much every Saturday and Sunday I'm doing a volunteer work day somewhere in West Michigan. I'm in Yankee Springs Recreation Area at least once a month year round. So if students are interested in that, they can Google like DNR Volunteer Stewardship and they'll get to our website. Students that come out with me, my name's Eleanor Leslie, you're always free to contact me. So you can join a public work day. If you have a student organization, you can set up another time just as your group. We get a lot of kids that need like National Honor Society hours, things like that will come volunteer.
What advice would you give to them?
Passion, whatever they're passionate about, focus on those areas that you really feel like you can make a difference. And anything that you do giving back to the community, be it the school, anywhere in the community, if you're passionate about it, you will make a legacy and you will leave your legacy.
And how does this service kind of leave a memory for a student?
So as they're engaging with the land, removing invasive species, planting native plants, those are going to remain there for years to come.
We hope that the students that join us at the service day will continue to visit us. We've had a lot of past students come back and say, oh yeah, I remember this day. I was here when I was in grade school and now I get to come and explore it.
Part of it is we get so much from the community here in Middleville. They are very supportive of the school district and they offer all kinds of opportunities for students for their service projects. I think students are going to have, this is going to be a memory for them because they're going to go and they're going to give back to the community that has supported them for so many years in their K-12 education.
The service day students that come out to the park, it's really cool because a lot of them have already visited Yankee Springs, so they're familiar with it from mountain biking or hiking with their friends and family. But I hope we're able to kind of show a little bit of how they can get involved and give back, and they can feel a little bit more ownership. That's one really cool thing about state parks is that a resident who pays taxes in the state of Michigan, you actually own this land, and so that's a message I try and get out to people. And any work you're investing in, this is one of the best places in the area, and you own it.
Sometimes too, our kids will even ask, hey, Joe from the high school came down to visit. He's been down a couple times. When is he going to be coming back? So anytime that we can get that involvement and have those older students come back and work with our younger students, it's a blessing and it's great for, I think, not only for our kids, but also for the older students to come down and realize that they are making an impact too, and it's just a neat thing to see.
The natural leaders that they're able to gather everyone around them, because usually we get, given our size, we get a decent group of students. I can't lead them all because if I'm over here helping them, so you see the students that take that natural leadership role and kind of help
Organize the logistics
and guide and all right, let's do this now, and without even me asking. So that's where
I guess what's coming to mind first is just speaking to that relationship. So we'll be outside for our service day, we'll be working on the berms. We can begin that relationship of how do we care for this space, kind of fleshing out how we can interact and care for our environment. Because as we go through life, we're going to have a space around us, whether it's a yard or a balcony, an apartment balcony, but we can care for those spaces and become a part of nature through those spaces.
Leave behind that this is their land, this is their park, and there are ways for them to get engaged if they want to start to get back to the community.
I think from an organizational standpoint, the Service Learning Project is our way of giving back to the community of Middleville and the broader Thornapple Kellogg School District.
Okay.
We want to be able to show that we appreciate everything the community has done for us, and in appreciating, we are giving back to the community itself.
it's okay to help. Obviously I've got staff here and we could do it, but it's also nice when community gives back to help out wherever they can. And I've always been a service-oriented individual, both personally and professionally. And I've always been the sort you help out when you can, where you can. Are you going to be able to do everything? No, absolutely not. None of us can. But you give when you can and where you can. And I think that's fantastic that the school does that. The students are interested, and it always seems like that they have a good time when they're here.
In all, despite my incredible stupidness, all the interviewees were actually incredibly nice. As for the analysis, what can we take from these answers? I think what really matters is all the talk about legacy, and it's what this video was actually commissioned to be about. But in all, with these answers, I think I've come to some sort of conclusion. I think that the legacy we leave behind for the next generation of students is what matters most. And the steps that we take and the actions that we take on that journey are just ways that we imprint our legacy on others. So cue my standard motivational quote: do something good probably, because that's probably good.